Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and as you can see in the timer over here, over there, we are only training 47 minutes of chess today, despite actually gaining a minute today of chess training, because I have some chess lessons to teach, and I should have, streamed my chess earlier, but I've had a weird day of just not being very productive, and that happens sometimes, and honestly, I'm glad that I'm even here streaming right now. So yeah, we're going to try our best to, learn something because, every day we learn something. That's probably a good day. And I basically want to split the session into two of basically doing some chess neuron exercises and also taking a look at some of these Benoni games that I collated like 64 of these games, and I've only gone through 3 of them. So I definitely want to have a look at more of LeBron's chess, who is one of my Benoni icons. So yeah, let's just warm up first with a chess neuron, and then we'll step it up and take a look at some Benoni games. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and yeah, let's begin, and let's move my camera. Do I have a chess neurons overlay? I probably should. Do I do this now? Do I do this later? Go on, let's do it now. Okay, add a new scene. No, let's duplicate. Call this one chess neurons. Okay. Let's drag that right up. That's Leech's study. Do I really not have a chess? Oh, I had woodpecker. Okay, chess neurons, then we'll just stick me over here. And hopefully that's good enough. That should be fine. Okay, let's do that. Right, so easy exercise first. Let's give this a go. And then we'll do a couple of these, couple of hard ones, and we'll move over to Benoni. So, okay, white's turn to play. God, it's been so long since I've been thinking about chess. I can barely think. Maybe one random sequence that just crosses my mind is takes and queen c2 with some kind of fork. Because yeah, our bishop's being attacked. Is there anything else to note about this position? I mean, that looks like our best bet. Although, I mean, it can be defended, right? There is queen d5 at the end. So maybe there is something better. Oh, one thing I should mention as well, the KL Gateway Open. I thought was supposed to be tomorrow. Turns out it's next Tuesday. So I've got a whole another week to go before that. So all of these streams of preparing for KL Gateway Open, I was kind of hyping myself up for Tuesday, and it turns out no, it's literally next week. But that's fine. That's fine. I've been having a good time in KL regardless, so yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know. Maybe one thing I'd even do is play bishop takes, queen c2, and then play knight c3, just to force the trade and just take back with the queen and say that I'm going to play against these weak pawns, put a knight on e5, and just be very happy here. Don't really see what else there is to do, so let's go for it. Yeah, bishop c6, bc6, queen c2, queen d5. Wow, rook d1. Let's compare rook d1 and knight c3. So this is apparently +2, with rook d1 being top move. Knight c3 is only +1. Because black has an immediate c5. I think, if black had to play a move like h6, we see it's even +2, right? But if black can actually unravel with c5, then maybe that's quite annoying. Although that does give up a pawn. So why is this rook d1 so strong? Improving the rook's position, I guess preventing c5 as well, because then we even get the tempo on the queen. Yeah, this looks quite ugly. So it gives bishop b7 instead. Knight c3. Oh, we get the knight c3 move anyway. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, let's do one more of these. I'd say that was a pretty decent attempt. Yo, Shay, what's up? How is the Liverpool League? How's it going in Liverpool? Actually, how cold is it in Liverpool right now? Okay, so what's going on here? Equal number of pawns, knight against bishop. Our king feels a little bit weaker. I mean, the move that jumps out at me is just to push b4. I mean, this feels so natural to open up the queen side. Don't know if there's anything else to note about this position. Otherwise, b4 just feels right. I mean, even if white plays like rook a1, like the knight is doing a good job of covering our king's defense. I think b4 has to be right. Yeah. b4, bishop a4. Like, it was harder to justify it than just play it. Like, it felt so right. I don't even know why. Rook a6. Black will win some material next. Clearly better. Bishop a4. Rook c4. Wow, you even have this tactic. Bishop d1. I guess it's just bad, yeah. Bishop b3. Wow, and the pass pawns are winning. That's pretty crazy. I mean, was that really forced though, in this position? If bishop b3. I mean, surely you could just go back to c7 and still be much better. Yeah, this is still -1. But yeah, that's a pretty cool line with giving up the exchange to get the pass pawns. Right, so rook on a1, you can take on c3, take on b2 with tempo, and then take the bishop. Defend everything like this and bring in the knight. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So how's this going? Are we actually pushing c3? Knight c3. If we push c3, okay, this is still winning. How do you actually win this though? Like if they try and block, I guess the point is we're gonna outmuscle very soon. Rook a3. I guess you need to play this to defend the pawn. Otherwise, if you make like a nothing move, they're probably going to sack. Yeah. So you need to play a move like rook a3. But how do you actually make progress here? Is if white just like does nothing? Oh, we literally got this check and then we push. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Okay, I can believe this is very strong. Nice. In that case, let's now move to the hard exercises. Actually, maybe there's a little break in between. Let's do some of these. Oh no, we'll do this at the end. They've got blunder puzzles now on Chess Neurons, which is quite nice. Which is like you have to choose between two moves. One of them is a blunder, one of them is good. 15 degrees in March. That's really good. That's crazy. Damn, by the time I move back to UK, maybe global warming will have done enough to actually make it livable. That's quite nice. Okay, so now we're on to hard exercises. White to play. A random move that is crossing my mind is just this idea, but I should probably think about this properly. So we have equal number of pawns and pieces. Somehow the bishop on b6 feels like a bit of a target with the c5 motif. Feels like the only thing really going on in this position. We do have a weak d pawn, which could get exposed in some situations. You should always take note of any hang pieces, not that there are any. I guess we've got the other move order of playing c5 first and playing this. Right, so I mean, I guess if we push and then we take the central pawn and they play queen d6, we do have bishop f4. I quite like the look of that. Maybe we've got some threats of knight g6. So the thing is, if I do this move order instead, I'm not entirely convinced. I feel like maybe they could even take it and take on d3. I think that seems okay. But I realize I'm not calculating properly at all. Like, I haven't really worked out what goal I should have in a position. I guess maybe exploiting this bishop. And then I should think of candidate moves. Okay, we've got knight takes and pawn c5. I really don't know what else there is to consider here. I mean, let's really try and visualize this. If we push c5, pawn takes is forced, knight takes e5, hitting the queen. They either have to move to the back rank or they go queen d6. Queen d6 feels the most natural. And I do like this bishop f4. How have we improved the position compared to the start? I feel like we have. I mean, our pawn... We do give ourselves a backwards d-pawn, though. But it still somehow feels good. Man, I really don't know. I really don't know. Like, I'm kind of, like, baited into playing for some tactic, but it might not even be one. I don't know what else we play for here. Do I, like, re-maneuver this knight somewhere decent? Like, put it on d5 or something? If we play this, let's say they just go back or something like that. I feel like our pieces get really active, and I feel like we can get more active than our opponents. So I think I'm gonna go for this. Yeah, this is my answer. Also, welcome Josh and welcome Milan. How's it going? I did consider this idea of playing knight takes f7. I just didn't know how to evaluate it. I mean, we had the knight and bishop against rook and pawn. Yeah, it's been warm in Nottingham as well. Okay, that's nice. There's hope for the UK after all. Consider knight f7 then e5. So this is like if they take here and they play queen d6, maybe knight takes f7. Rook takes, bishop takes, king takes, and e5 here? Or maybe you mean in a different position, I'm not so sure. But yeah, let's have a look at what Ankit has to say. I said welcome Milan, right? I'm forgetting already. But welcome anyway, and welcome Arjun. Good to see you guys are down to do some training. So okay, c5, dc5. We don't go knight takes e5 immediately. We first take on c5. That's interesting. So bc5, bishop takes e5, knight e5, queen d8, bishop c3 instead, bishop b6, knight f4, bishop c8, and d4. Yeah, it looks very nice. Looks very, very nice. So how much of a big difference is taking on c5 immediately as opposed to taking on e5? Okay, so we see Stockfish even say take on e5, which is good news for us. And is queen d6 met with bishop f4? Yeah, bishop f4 is the move. Okay, good. And looks like, yeah, black is already having to chicken out of this, right? Because probably knight g6 is strong. Okay, I don't think I saw that the bishop on f4 was defended by the knight. I think I thought I had to move the knight while defending the bishop. Yeah, I missed this coordination. Probably knight g6 is strong anyway. Yeah, it's still decent. You win an exchange, but obviously, yeah, if you can take this pawn with a potential discovery with tempo, yeah, this is even better. Okay, let's do one more. You don't take bishop f7, the rook is pinned, right? So you can basically take it whenever you want or add more pressure. Josh says, the strategic ideas all seem to make sense after a few moves have been played, but seeing them beforehand is so hard. I was studying some Michael Adams games, and I always get this feeling. Yeah, I guess, I mean, if they do make sense, I think it just is a matter of experience, then. Like, if you see the ideas more and more, then eventually they will come to you in the game. Yeah, these chess neuron puzzles aren't real tactical problems. They're basically positional puzzles that sometimes are more tactical, sometimes more strategical. So it's kind of like trying to be more realistic to get you to solve, different kinds of positions in the game as opposed to just tactics. So okay, black's turn to play. Let's see if we can end on 4 out of 4. And yeah, if anyone wants to give this Chess Neurons a try themselves, there is a paywall, but I don't even remember how much it is. It's quite affordable, and I've got a partnership with them. So if you use Chess Lifestyle as a code, you get like 10% off, and I think I get a small cut of something. But yeah, Ankit's a very cool guy, so very happy to support his work. I think, like, with websites like this, like, we really take for granted, just how many chess resources we have on the internet. Like, we just take Lichess, take chess.com as a given. But at the end of the day, like, this random GM from India has put a lot of time and effort into making this website. And I don't think it's been, like, that successful for him. But I just think it's so cool that, like, he's gone through the efforts to make this, because he's felt that, there's kind of like this hole in the market in terms of a type of chess improvement, of basically, training your positional chess like you would with tactics. So yeah, I think like, I'm always kind of a little in awe of like these kind of ventures, because I mean, for me personally, like, I've had some very entrepreneurial ideas, but definitely nothing that has amounted to the scale of like actually creating like a whole brand and website. Like, like making a YouTube channel is one thing, or, making a Chessable course is another, but, I find it very cool. That's what I'm trying to say. But okay, black to play. So not equal material. We've got a pawn up on the f-file. We have a fianchetted knight, which is never so happy, because if you think about it, like, the knight is basically controlling the same squares as the pawns. So it's kind of a little redundant. My first impression would be just to play bishop g5, like, just absolutely trade off that bishop. Like, I don't want to deal with it, and then we play. I mean, it feels like we're a little bit congested as well, a bit of a space disadvantage. I mean, bishop g5 is really screaming at me right now. Like, what else is there to consider? Yeah, I really want to play it. I mean, I'm looking at like any like developing moves. Doesn't really make too much sense. F5. It feels like it's just a bit too soon to play such moves. Like I want to get rid of that bishop. Is there any drawback of this move? If we take, does white have any follow-up that concerns me? I really don't see one. I'm gonna play it. Bishop g5, okay. And that's interesting that this is given as a hard exercise, because to me, I mean, this is just like so obvious. Yeah, black's up a pawn, but white's putting some pressure on the king side. With this move, black's planning to exchange white's active bishop. Yeah. I mean, we had a weak situation on the dark squares, so it makes sense to... Oh, and bishop f5 is very nice. I actually hadn't considered trading off the bishop in this way with the knight on g7. That makes a lot of sense. Wow, f6 even. Okay, bit of a weird line, but... Yeah, so he tries to get in on the dark squares. And yeah, f6 is a weird move, but it makes sense. We cut off knight g5. It seems like our king is safe enough. But I'm really surprised, for instance, here. Like, why are we not trading the bishop? Like, makes no sense to me. So bishop e4 is preferred, but what about bishop takes d3? Oh, this is giving up like all of our advantage. That's crazy. Okay, not all of it, but some significant advantage. I mean, queen e7, rook h3. Apparently, there's something here. Is that what it's trying to say? And white is just being extremely annoying. We can't ever play a move like f5. Wow, g4, and yeah, the tables are turning. So I don't really like what has happened here. So I mean, bishop e4 is even just like trying to take control over this rook lift. But maybe like, can we not? Yeah, I was thinking queen h6 actually. Why put the queen back on d8? I mean, I don't think the queen is so vulnerable. The queen can come into e7. Yeah, actually, this whole knight f3, queen e3 plan is really nice from white to actually still tickle these dark squares. I hadn't considered this. Yeah, and we can't play this any other way. I guess we have to deal with this threat. Can we not take on d3 and then play knight f5? Maybe we take on d3 and they play knight g5 as an in-between move. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, knight g5. And we actually have to sack the queen. Yeah, so... Yeah, somehow we're just in a little bit of a pickle. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's chess for you, right? Like, you do one thing right, but you still need to show up for the rest of the moves. Josh says, I used my free trial of Chess Neurons and haven't gone back to it, but it's a good website and good value. He picks good positions and explains them well. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, yeah, it's weird. Like, I think if you can build this into, make it an actual habit, I think this would, like, see some real tangible growth. I'm not sure why as well. Like, for me, like, I haven't been able to build it as a habit. I like the format of the website, and actually, you know, this streak idea, as you can see in the top right hand corner, this was actually one of my suggestions to Ankit, that it might encourage some people to keep it up. I know that's how Chessable and like sites like Duolingo kind of like hook their members, but yeah, somehow I haven't caught the bug as well. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's still effort, right? And I haven't really got the discipline to just work on this by myself. But at least, you know, like I can stream and that's some motivation to keep some kind of schedule. Better than the 700 ELO chess influencers. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of support the 700 ELO chess influence as well, to be honest. I mean, like, if they're like creating content and it's entertaining, then power to them. To be honest. Yep, bishop g5, exactly, Peter. Good job and welcome to the stream. I said good 3 times. I have the exact same reaction, Josh. Like I feel like I write stuff, and I have to like go back and change it because I'm like, oh, I used the same adjective like 5 times. Yeah. Okay, let's. While I answer these questions, you guys can solve a blunder puzzle while we do this. So this is black's turn to play. Knight g5 or bishop f6. One of these moves is a blunder. One of these moves is good. While you guys put in the work, I'm gonna read some chat. So Arjun asks, Michael, off topic, but what do you think of Chatard Alakine in the French? The hell is that? Chatard Alakine. Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to look this up. Chatard Alakine. Am I getting trolled? No. I was wondering if it was one of these like trolls where like you trick the streamer into saying something. Yeah, what is this? Oh wow, wait, that's cool. Oh, I didn't even realize this was a Lichess link that came up. So what is this? Bishop g5 here. Yeah, that's an interesting move. But if they take, then this just transposes. But this is a good line for white, I think, if they take. So, interesting. e5. Oh, an h4 here. But this is a weird move, on no? Wait, hold on a sec. I'm so confused right now. Or is this the main? Is this the main move, bishop g5? God, it's been so long since I played the French. I've forgotten everything. Maybe bishop g5 is the main move. I think I used to play bishop b4. Is that the McCutcheon? No, bishop b4 is probably losing. Oh no, this is the McCutcheon. Okay, so I used to play bishop b4. This was my pet system. Although I used to have a big trouble with bishop c1. It's a very rare gambit line, but this was like super annoying. Because basically white tries to reroute the bishop this way instead. Yeah, no, this line is cool. I think it's interesting for white for sure. But yeah, it's a lot of work as well because you need to learn what to do against McCutcheon as well. And I think yeah, to play h4 here is definitely like more ambitious than just taking on e7. I think taking on e7, it's like maybe Engine has some objective strength or something, but I don't really believe in it. From my memory of being a French player, that's what I'd say. Welcome Faz to the stream, and welcome Harshal. Long time no chat, long time no see. How's your experience with this website? I mean, I like it. I mean, I'm friends with Ankit. I mean, I actually first discovered the website because I won it in some tournament, like a 1 month membership, and then we kind of stayed in touch. And yeah, it's a good website. It's a good website. Like, if you can really get into it and drill, then I think this is promising. But actually, I noticed that Ankit hasn't taken on my recommendation yet, which was I felt that there needs to be a button where you can toggle the arrows on and off, because I think for a beginner it's useful to see the arrows, but then for someone of our level, then it'll be nice to just get rid of the arrows. They're a bit annoying. But okay, let's see if we can solve this quickly. First impression, I would play knight g5 over bishop f6. Bishop f6 just feels like we're opening up our king and feels very uncomfortable. But maybe somehow bishop f6 is actually threatening something. Like it's attacking the knight, right? So one of these moves is actually a blunder. Now, for the record, queen takes h4 wasn't possible because there is checkmate in 1. And both moves do seem to deal with that. Yeah, one of these moves is a blunder, surprisingly. I'm really trying to make some smothered mate work in... Oh, we can get rid of it like that. Oh, I didn't realize. I never knew we could just get rid of the arrows like that. Oh, okay. I'll have to drop Ankit a message and say that. Yeah, I'm just being stupid. Okay, so bishop f6. I really want to get in like some knight g6 somehow. I don't really see. Yeah, this is a good one. Because I mean, like, this structure means like these pieces are so out of the game. The rook is also very slow to come back in. The arrows are back. I don't even know. Okay, let's just go one by one. Bishop f6. Harshal, do you know Ankit personally as well? I can imagine you guys being from the same state in India. And I mean this in a very good way. Like, I feel like I catch some similar like mannerisms or something. But having said that, I remember, Harshal, you saying that, you know, you're from a part of India that doesn't have such a big chess scene, so maybe it's unlikely to be the case. I mean, not that my Indian geography is any good at all. God, I really don't know. Yeah, this is an absolutely horrific position. I'd hate to play as black, like. Man, this was the exercise that you guys were supposed to solve, not me. I was gonna catch up chat. Oh boy. One of these is a blunder. It's crazy. I don't even have any intuition as to which one would be better anymore. I mean, both look like they do the job. God, I really don't know. I wonder, maybe like on knight g5, you are like, you still have this pressure on g7, right? So maybe the problem is why you could play a move like knight f3, because you can't take because of checkmate. And I guess you're threatening to play either h4 or just take the knight. So how do you deal with this knight f3 move? I guess you could play like queen f6, trying to trade queens. Seems pretty good, to be fair. So bishop f6, is there a problem with this move? Genuinely looks fine to me. I mean, we're even attacking the knight. Although we're not, because then they can give checkmate. So... Man, I really don't know. Yeah, I really don't know which one is wrong. common aircon. Let's go. I did that thing where like you turn something on, but you click the button too many times, so you turn it off, and then, okay, we're good. God, I don't know. Yeah, I've got nothing. Peter, okay, I haven't seen why, but Peter says bishop f6 is blunder. So okay, I'll give this one more shot and really try and think why is bishop f6 a blunder. Why is bishop f6 a blunder? Oh, bishop f6, queen g7. Oh my days. Bishop takes g7, knight g6. So I literally had the right theme. Like, I was trying to find this, I just couldn't find it. And I think this comes back to, like, you know, my work with, like, woodpecker method. I think if I did this, like, 6 months ago or a year ago, probably a year ago now when I was, like, grinding this woodpecker, like, I would just look for this check, right? Because this was like, the old frizz advice that I'd kind of come to, which is, like, you've got to look at every single possible attacking move that could potentially disrupt the defense or give a check or bring in an attacker. And queen g7 is a check. It's all three of these things. So it needs to be looked at. I just couldn't see it. But yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, like e5 was the move. I think I played when I used to play e4 as a junior and played it very badly. Taking e7 is best, Michael? I've studied this line extensively. Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it's best, like, from engine, but... yeah, bishop e8, unfortunately, it's not an option, and yeah, leads to checkmate in 1. But yeah, this bishop f6 is the blunder. Because queen g7, wow, what a move. Oh, nightmarish stuff. Okay, glad Faz can answer your questions, Arjun, about this bishop e7 line. Nice to see you, Gloin. Nice to see you, Itachi. And nice to see you, Jack Pilley. And yeah, good job with bishop f6, queen g7. Damn, Faz also was blindsided by this queen sack. Wild. I don't agree with this website since it's not always tactical. You're missing a mate in 2. You should be solving a mate in 2 in a few minutes. I mean, I know I should, but, you know, some of us are severely limited in our ability. I mean, maybe I should just grind out some more mate in 2 exercises. I probably haven't done enough in my lifetime. That's probably true. But I also think that in general, I'm worse at mating attacks in general. Like, just, it's tough for me. But yeah, as per the title of the stream, I wanted to not only do some chess mood, but I also wanted to take a look at some classic games from Eric Lobron. And I remember that I compiled this study of his Benoni games in order of the dates that they were played. So we're starting with a young Eric Lobron, who's clearly, you know, only IM level. But clearly, you know, he's playing against like some greats, Eugenio Torre, and yeah, it looks like he beat this guy. So let's have a look at this Benoni game and see what we can learn from it. And I do have a chess lesson in 10 minutes, so I will have to go very, very soon. But maybe we can just pick up one snippet of wisdom from this. Oh God, what I do? Okay, well, one snippet of wisdom from this game. So let's have a look. We get starting Benoni position, and here I would always play a6, a4, bishop g4. This feels like a weak move order from white, but you know we can let them off. This was like probably like 70 years ago when this was played. Bishop f4. So we get a6, a4. Okay, now I'm back in book. And he goes for bishop g4 anyway. Yeah, makes sense. I almost have the feeling, is there not like some drawback with this move. Is there not knight takes e4? I swear knight takes e4 is a move. Oh shit, is knight takes e4 not a move? Oh, this is not a move. What line am I getting confused with? I swear there's... I was recently looking at something around here. Maybe it's the bishop f4? This is a direct transposition. It's e4 here. Oh, I'm gonna have to look at what the hell was I... I'm gonna make a note to look into this after my chess lessons. Because that was definitely something that like I thought there was like some knight e4, but yeah, I must be getting confused with a different line. But yeah, this e4 combined with bishop f4, it's very rare. And I'm surprised, like I'm not sure if I would play bishop g4 here, even though it's top engine move, because you always have to be very careful of whether queen b3 can work. And I mean, very often it's actually not like that strong for white, but the times that it is strong is when the bishop is on f4 and pressuring d6. So I'd probably just castle, to be honest. Maybe even play queen e7 so that I can play for a quick knight d7. But bishop g4, what happens if they play queen b3? Bishop takes f3. If they take on a8... Wow, so knight h5. So I guess that's one difference with the pawn being on e4, not on e3. Maybe that's a new resource. Yeah, I think these kind of lines with bishop g4 where queen b3 is possible, it's like either you studied it and you know you can play it, or you just, you know, it's safer to avoid. Like play queen e7, knight e7, castles or something. You can definitely play with the bishop but still on c8. But okay, interesting to see that there is a difference here, and we can take on f3. And the point is we're even sacrificing the rook, although knight d7 is still playable. But I mean, I'm always skeptical about this, given that there's this pressure on d6. But yeah, I guess the flip side is that because this bishop is developed, we do have this opportunity to take on b2. So maybe this is worth taking note of as well. Yeah, and I can kind of believe that this can be a... Well, I mean, it's just very dynamic, isn't it? Yeah, you basically keep up the initiative here, because if bishop c1, you hit the knight, and rook a3, you can trade, and then you can sort out your pawn, I guess. And if they try and take, are they going to get busted somehow? What's the move if they take? Maybe there's some tactic on this knight, right? Because there's the bishop attacking. Maybe there's like some knight g4 or something crazy. Knight g4 is not working. Oh wow, knight b5. Oh, and they've got, oh my god, they've got counter threats. I was like, maybe like we can take on f2, but yeah, they can actually hurt us. Rook b6. That's actually something worth keeping note of. If they grab this pawn and grab this pawn, then rook b6 is in the position. Okay, that's good to have seen. Very briefly. Yeah, I think Ilana, I'm in agreement with Faz about like, yeah, how it's good to practice unfamiliar positions and still try and find the best move, even if it's not like a completely clean tactical solution. I think often in chess, you know, there is no clean tactical solution to a position, and you just need to play what's best, even if it's unclear. So I think the website is nice, but yeah, to each their own. So okay, interesting that, yeah, black is not interested to trade off for the knight just yet. Knight d7. How would I play this? I think basically like what I like to do is take the knight, because the bishop is then on like a slightly weaker diagonal, and you get more opportunity to play for b5. And I'd probably be playing like rook b8 and trying to play for this b5 very soon. But this seems alright as well. Knight h5, interesting. Yeah, it feels like white should have definitely played h3 at some point to give this bishop a flight square. So one thing I would note is that I never want to stop f4 with g5 because the f5 square is weak. And I don't have a bishop on c8 to chop. So I think I would play rook b8 and play for b5 still. That would be my plan. Okay, knight e5. I guess that deals with f4 for one move, because then you can play knight g4 and win this bishop. But maybe white could play h3. Yeah, white plays h3 here. And wow, black plays g5. Okay. Still, this is somewhat surprising to me, because if a knight can land itself on f5, like maybe something like this or something like this, this would be a problem. But I guess actually, concretely speaking, maybe there's not a real way to do it, because as soon as the knight comes here, we can chop. And the bishop is currently completely blocked. So maybe I play like f3 and try and do it this way, but it's very clunky. And yeah, I completely understand Torre's reaction of just playing f4 immediately. In which we have to take, which is the whole point. But then we take the dark squared bishop, and then I actually feel like we've got a fantastic position. And it's very slow for them to get in a knight to b5. Interesting now is the moment we play on the queen side, though, because king h8 with rook g8 is probably where I'd be looking to play first. But yeah, Engine is completely in agreement that b5 is the way. What's the drawback of this? Knight d1 with knight e3, and maybe it's fast. So yeah, basically they just don't care, and they just come over with it. So why do they have to react? Why can't they just play knight d1, which is what was played? c4, and if they play knight e3, we're also very quick to get a knight in. Maybe. We also have this. Wow. I guess that's quite an annoying move. Yeah, so they move the king out the way. And somehow we're just slightly faster with getting our own counterplay. Oh, bishop h6 is interesting. Could the idea even be just a... Oh, we're adding an extra attacker, so it's not even just trading, where we're just trying to win it outright. And interesting. So I guess basically we're trying to deal with this knight e3 motif just on pure tactics with queen a7 and bishop h6. I guess that makes sense. And that's a cool idea to deal with this knight e3. I hadn't seen this queen a7 idea. But yeah, on that note, guys, unfortunately it is time for my chess lesson, so I'm going to have to call it a day there. I will probably finish this game after my lessons end. But yeah, thank you, as always, for tuning in. And one really good piece of news, I did get one new YouTube member who is giving my Modern Benoni Defense course a try, so I'm very much looking forward to checking in with him on how that goes. And if you are interested in the Benoni, would 100% recommend to check out my course on YouTube. But on that note, guys, see you on Wednesday for another chess stream. Okay, bye.